Do you ever wonder why some people seem to be unstoppable while others stay stuck in the same loop year after year? It's not just about what they do, it's about what they refuse to do. Success isn't just built on the right habits, it's also about cutting out the toxic patterns that keep you playing small. And today I'm telling you straight up, if you want to elevate your life, you've got to drop the habits that are holding you back. First, stop playing the victim. Life is tough. People will let you down. Things won't always go your way. But the moment you blame circumstances, you lose your power. Successful people own their reality. They understand that even if something isn't their fault, it's still their responsibility to change it. You can't control everything, but you can control how you respond, and that makes all the difference. And let's talk about excuses, because they're nothing more than well-dressed lies we tell ourselves. I don't have time, I don't have the resources, I'm not ready yet. Stop. The people who win in life aren't the ones who had everything handed to them. They're the ones who figured it out anyway. You've got to stop looking for reasons why you can't and start finding ways that you can. Then there's the comfort zone, that safe, predictable place. But you know what else it is? A prison. Growth doesn't happen where it's comfortable. It happens when you push yourself beyond your limits, when you take risks, when you do what most people are too afraid to try. If you want to play big, you've got to stop thinking small and be mindful of who you let into your world. The people around you are shaping your mindset whether you realize it or not. You cannot afford to keep negative, toxic, energy-draining people in your life. They will pull you down faster than you can pull them up. The most successful people choose their circle wisely because they understand energy is contagious. Surround yourself with winners and you'll start thinking and acting like one. Next, stop wasting time on things that don't serve you. Social media scrolling, mindless TV, endless distractions, cut them out. Every minute spent on things that don't move you forward is a minute stolen from your dreams. The world rewards those who show up and put in the work, not those who waste time hoping for change. And let's talk about perfectionism. It's a trap. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions, you'll be waiting forever. Success isn't about being perfect, it's about progress. Start now, adjust along the way, but do not let fear of imperfection keep you from taking action. Here's a big one. Stop seeking validation. Too many people let the opinions of others dictate their actions. Let me tell you something. Nobody successful ever got there by asking for permission. If you have a vision, a dream, a goal, you need to back yourself. Trust your gut. The world will always have opinions, but you cannot let them define you. And never ever adopt a fixed mindset. If you believe you've already learned everything you need to know, you've lost before you even begin. The most successful people are lifelong learners. They embrace challenges. They grow from failure. They reinvent themselves constantly. If you want to stay ahead, you have to stay open to growth. Take care of yourself, your mind, your body, your energy. Too many people grind themselves into the ground chasing success only to realize that without health, none of it matters. Your energy is your fuel. Prioritize it. Move your body, feed your mind, and protect your mental space like your future depends on it, because it does. Now is the time. You've got the power to shift your trajectory, but it starts with you. Cut the habits that are holding you back and step into the version of yourself that was meant to win. You ever notice how some people go through life acting like the world is out to get them? Like every setback, every challenge, every disappointment is someone else's fault? Let me tell you something. Successful people don't think that way. They don't waste time pointing fingers. They don't sit around waiting for circumstances to change. They take full ownership of their lives, no matter what. Because the truth is, as long as you believe your problems are someone else's responsibility, you give away your power. You're stuck. You're helpless. And that's exactly why so many people stay in the same place year after year. They're too busy blaming the economy, their boss, their upbringing, their past. But the ones who rise, they refuse to be victims. They decide, no matter what happens to me, I'm in control of what happens next. Look, life is unfair. That's a fact. Some people get a head start, some face obstacles you can't even imagine. But here's the deal. You can either let that be your excuse or you can let it be your reason. The moment you shift from why is this happening to me to what am I going to do about it, everything changes, because now You're in the driver's seat. Now you're the one calling the shots. And when you take full responsibility for your life, there's no limit to what you can create. Excuses. They're seductive, aren't they? They make you feel better in the moment. They justify inaction. They give you a reason to stay exactly where you are. But here's the truth. Excuses are just well-dressed lies. And every time you buy into them, you trade in your potential for comfort. People tell themselves all kinds of stories. I don't have enough time. I don't have the right connections. I'm not ready yet. Let me tell you something. You think the people who've made it had unlimited time, perfect conditions, and every resource at their fingertips? No, they had the same 24 hours you do. They had setbacks, challenges, roadblocks. The difference? They refused to let those things stop them. Because here's the deal. Your excuses are never about the situation. They're about your mindset. The truth is, if something is important enough to you, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. And that's the real question. Are you committed or are you just interested? Because people who are just interested in success, they work when it's convenient, when they feel like it, when everything lines up perfectly. But the people who are committed, they show up no matter what. They figure it out. They take action even when they're scared, even when they're uncertain, even when it's messy. You want something bad enough, then stop telling yourself why you can't have it. Stop looking for reasons it won't work. Start focusing on what you can control, what you can do, what steps you can take right now. Because every excuse you hold on to is just another chain keeping you stuck where you are. And the second you decide to stop making them, to stop tolerating them, to stop letting them dictate your actions, that's the second your life starts to change. Comfort is the enemy of progress. It feels good, it feels safe, it feels familiar, but it's a trap. It's the place where dreams go to die. And if you're serious about leveling up, about breaking through, about creating the life you know you're meant for, then you've got to stop clinging to what's easy and start stepping into what's uncomfortable. Because here's the truth. Everything you want, everything you're capable of is just outside that comfort zone. Growth doesn't happen when things are predictable. It doesn't happen when you do the same thing over and over, hoping for a different result. Growth happens when you stretch yourself, when you take risks, when you push beyond what you thought was possible. But most people won't do that. Most people stay exactly where they are because stepping into the unknown, that's scary. It's uncomfortable. It's uncertain. And you know what? It's supposed to be. That's how you know you're on the right path. That resistance you feel, that fear, that discomfort, that's the sign you're growing. That's the sign you're becoming more. Look, you weren't put on this earth to play small. You weren't designed to stay stuck in the same place, living the same year over and over again. But if you keep choosing comfort over growth, that's exactly what will happen. So ask yourself, do you want to stay where it's safe, or do you want to step into your potential? Because the second you stop running from discomfort and start embracing it, you unlock a version of yourself you've never met before. And that version, that's the one who wins. The people you surround yourself with are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Energy is contagious. Mindsets are contagious. If you spend your time around people who complain, who make excuses, who settle for mediocrity, guess what? You're going to start thinking and acting the same way. Not because you want to, but because that's the environment you're in. Most people don't even question it. They keep the same friends, the same influences, the same conversations, and then wonder why their life isn't changing. But successful people, they're intentional. They guard their circle like their future depends on it, because it does. They understand that if they want to elevate, they can't keep hanging around people who drag them down. They seek out mentors, leaders, people who push them to be better. They surround themselves with energy, ambition, and high standards because they know that's what will pull them forward. You've got to ask yourself, who do you spend the most time with? Are they building you up or holding you back? Are they challenging you to grow or keeping you comfortable? If you're the smartest, most driven person in your circle, that's not a badge of honor, that's a warning sign. You need to get around people who make you think bigger, who make you uncomfortable in the best way possible, who show you what's really possible, what's really uncomfortable. You're not going to, because here's the truth, your environment will always win. It will shape your beliefs, your actions, your standards. So if you're serious about stepping up, about playing at a higher level, then you've got to be willing to make the hard choices. Let go of the relationships that drain you. Walk away from negativity. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you, who make you want to be better. Because when you do that, your growth becomes inevitable. Failure is inevitable. It's part of the process. Every person who has ever achieved anything great has failed repeatedly. But here's the difference. Successful people don't let failure define them. They don't sit in it, replaying their mistakes, drowning in self-pity. They take the lesson, adjust, and keep moving because they know failure isn't the opposite of success, it's the path to it. Most people get it wrong. They hit a setback, and instead of using it as fuel, they let it break them. They start believing the lie that failure means they're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough. So they stop, they shrink back, they convince themselves that maybe it wasn't meant to be. But that's not the truth. The truth is failure is proof that you're in the game. It's proof that you're trying, that you're pushing beyond your limits. Think about it. Every major success story is built on a mountain of failures. Every entrepreneur, every athlete, every leader has been knocked down more times than they can count. But what makes them different? They refuse to stay down. They analyze what went wrong, they adapt, and they come back stronger. They don't take failure personally. They take it as feedback. They know that every time they get back up, they're getting closer. So the question isn't whether you'll fail. You will. The real question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let it stop you, or are you going to use it to sharpen yourself, to toughen yourself, to prepare yourself for the next level? Because the ones who make it, they're not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who never quit. Time is the most valuable asset you have. You can make more money, you can build more connections, but you can't create more time. And yet most people treat it like it's unlimited. They waste hours scrolling on their phones, binge watching shows, engaging in meaningless conversations. Then they wonder why they're not getting anywhere. Success isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about cutting out the things that don't serve you and focusing on what actually moves the needle. Every single day you have a choice. You can either invest your time or you can spend it. The difference, investing your time means putting it towards something that builds your future, learning a skill, working on your goals, developing yourself. Spending it means throwing it away on things that bring no long-term value. And most people, they're spending, not investing. They say they don't have time, but they spend hours on distractions that add nothing to their growth. You want to know what separates successful people? They protect their time like their life depends on it, because it does. They don't waste energy on things that don't align with their vision. They don't let distractions steal their focus. They structure their days with purpose, knowing that every minute counts. So ask yourself, where is your time going? Is it fueling your dreams, or is it slipping through your fingers? Because the reality is every wasted hour is an opportunity lost. And the people who win, they're the ones who take control of their time before time takes control of them. Perfectionism is just fear in disguise. It's the voice in your head that says, I'll start when I have the perfect plan. I'll take action when I'm 100% ready. But here's the truth. Waiting for the perfect moment is the fastest way to guarantee you never start at all. There is no perfect moment. There is no flawless plan. There is only right now. Most people get stuck in this cycle of overthinking, tweaking, refining, convincing themselves they're being productive when really they're just stalling. Why? Because taking action means putting yourself out there. It means risking failure. It means stepping into the unknown, and that's uncomfortable. So instead, people hide behind perfectionism, thinking if they just wait a little longer, if they just prepare a little more, they'll finally feel ready. But the truth is, you'll never feel ready. Successful people understand this. They know that action creates clarity. You don't wait until you're confident to start. You start, and that's how you build confidence. You take messy, imperfect action. You figure it out along the way, because progress beats perfection every single time. Think about it. Every breakthrough, every innovation, every great achievement started with someone willing to take the first step before they had it all figured out. They didn't wait until they knew every answer. They moved, they adjusted, they learned. That's how real success happens. So stop waiting, stop overanalyzing, stop telling yourself the lie that you need to have it all perfectly mapped out before you begin. Just start. Because the ones who win, they're not the ones who get it perfect. They're the ones who get it going. Seeking validation from others is a trap, and it's one that most people fall into without even realizing it. They're constantly looking for approval, for someone to tell them they're doing the right thing, for a pat on the back to confirm that they're on the right track. And here's the thing. You cannot build the life you want by constantly seeking permission from others. If you're waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to dream big, to take risks, to go after what you want, you'll be waiting forever. Successful people don't need validation from the outside world. They trust themselves. They have a vision, a deep belief in what they're doing, and they don't need anyone else to confirm it. They know that not everyone will understand their journey, and that's okay. Not everyone is supposed to. People will question your decisions, criticize your choices, and doubt your path. But that's just noise. The only voice that matters is the one inside you, the one that says, this is worth pursuing. I believe in this. You can't let other people's opinions define your actions. If you do, you'll forever be living for someone else's approval. But when you're living for your own belief, when you're doing it for your own reasons, that's when the magic happens. That's when you step into your power. Now, it's not about being arrogant or dismissing constructive feedback. It's about trusting yourself enough to know what's right for you. When you stop seeking validation from others, you open yourself up to a life of freedom. You stop being dependent on outside opinions and start creating your own truth. So let go of the need for validation, trust yourself, and move forward with confidence, because the people who are truly successful, they trust their own instincts more than anyone else's approval. A fixed mindset is one of the biggest barriers you'll face in life. It's the belief that who you are today is all you'll ever be, that your abilities, your intelligence, your potential are set in stone. And if you believe that, if you think there's no room for growth, then you're already limiting yourself before you even begin. Successful people don't operate from a fixed mindset. They know that growth is a continuous process. They understand that challenges aren't roadblocks, they're opportunities to level up. When they face adversity, they don't see it as proof that they're not good enough. They see it as a chance to get better, to expand, to stretch beyond what they thought was possible. And that's the difference between those who thrive and those who stay stuck. A growth mindset means embracing challenges with enthusiasm. It means looking at failure as feedback, not as a reflection of your worth. It means being open to learning, to evolving, to becoming better every single day. Because here's the thing. If you think you've already learned everything, if you think you know all there is to know, then you're done. You've plateaued. But if you're open to growth, if you're willing to step into the unknown, then the possibilities are endless. Successful people thrive on learning. They take risks, they make mistakes, and they see it all as part of the process. They understand that every time they step outside their comfort zone, every time they push themselves to learn something new, they're moving closer to their true potential. And when you adopt that same mindset, you become unstoppable. So stop limiting yourself with a fixed mindset. Embrace challenges, welcome feedback, and grow constantly, because the ones who make it are the ones who never stop learning. Waiting for the perfect time to take action is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. So many people live in a constant state of someday I'll start that business, someday I'll get in shape, someday I'll go after my dreams. But guess what? Someday doesn't exist. The perfect time, it's a myth. It's the excuse people use to avoid getting uncomfortable, to avoid taking the first step, to avoid facing the fear that comes with stepping into the unknown. Successful people don't wait for the stars to align. They don't wait for all the pieces to fall into place. They take action now. They understand that progress isn't about having everything figured out from the start. It's about moving forward, even when you don't know exactly what's ahead. It's about committing to the process, trusting that you'll learn and adjust as you go. Here's the truth. The best time to start is right now. If you wait for conditions to be perfect, you'll never start. If you wait until everything is aligned, you'll be waiting forever. The most successful people are the ones who take messy action, the ones who understand that there's never a perfect time. They make the time perfect by simply doing. Every single day you spend waiting is a day you'll never get back. Every minute you waste hoping for better circumstances is a minute that could have been spent making progress, learning, growing, moving closer to your goals. The people who make things happen don't wait for permission. They don't wait for everything to be perfect. They take action now, and they let their momentum carry them forward. So stop waiting for the perfect time and make today the day you start. The ones who achieve greatness aren't the ones who wait for things to fall into place. They're the ones who take action no matter what.